Julius Fondong, a United Nations senior political affairs officer, recently published an article defending the oppressive La République du Cameroon government stance on the conflict in the southern Cameroons, Ambazonia. And he refers to Ambazonia as the northwest and southwest regions of Cameroon. That was his language. Julius Fondong's narrative, however, is deeply flawed, and it reveals a troubling bias that he holds, and it undermines his credibility. Fondong's selective presentation of facts, misrepresentation of issues, and his dismissive attitude towards the plight of the people of Ambazonia reflect a distorted view, his distorted view that aligns only with the oppressive regime in Yaoundé, rather than providing an objective analysis of the situation in Ambazonia. Now, when I say he is biased and dishonest, this is what I mean. This is exactly what I mean. Julius Fondong's article displays a clear bias against Ambazonia, and it downplays the severity of the situation in the country, Ambazonia. His assertion that the Ambazonian national lockdown aims to prevent school resumption is a fabrication. In other words, it's not correct, it's inaccurate. The Ambazonian leadership has consistently expressed support for school resumption, provided that the schools adhere to our own standards rather than those imposed on us by the annexationist government in Yaoundé. Fondong's claim is intended to discredit the liberation leaders and justify La République du Cameroon's clampdown actions. Fondong's denial of genocide in the Anglophone regions, as he calls it, is troubling too. He cites figures from the UNHCR to the effect that only 84,000 Ambazonian refugees are in Nigeria is not correct too. What Fondong does not tell you who read his article is that this figure is only of those registered by the UNHCR. He doesn't tell you that there are other thousands of refugees in Nigeria who remain unregistered by the UNHCR. And by the way, how about the other thousands in Ghana, in Gabon, and other places? Ambazonian refugees. Fondong mentioned that Human Rights Watch reports 600,000 internally displaced persons, IDPs. However, he conveniently ignores the fact that these figures represent only, again, a fraction of the actual displaced population. His own organization, the United Nations, acknowledges that the number of displaced individuals from this conflict could be as high as 1 million. We've heard that again and again and again. Yet, Fondong dismisses this discrepancy. How about his talk about comparing his talk about genocide, denying that there is genocide in Amazonia? To understand the gravity of the situation, it is essential to define what genocide is. And according to his own organization Convention on the Prevention and Punishment of the Crime of Genocide, genocide involves acts committed with the intent to destroy, in whole or in part, a national, ethnic, racial or religious group. This includes acts such as killing members of a group, causing serious bodily or mental harm, deliberately inflicting conditions designed to bring about its physical destruction. The evidence from the ongoing conflict in Ambazonia, including reports of over 400 villages burned by the Cameroon army, widespread displacement, and numerous civilian casualties, they suggest actions that align with the definition or elements of this of genocide. Fondong's dismissal of these facts and his narrow focus on registered refugees only serves to obscure the broader picture of suffering and violence that La République du Cameroon continue to meet against the people of Ambazonia. Misleading comparisons. Fondong's comparison of the Ambazonian liberation movement with the Taliban in Afghanistan is also inappropriate and misleading. The Taliban restriction on girls' education were a pre-existing policy unrelated to the Afghan war, whereas the Ambazonian liberation stance on education is directly linked to the ongoing war and their opposition to a country that has been widely criticized for its annexation and assimilation policies. This war started because of teachers' protests for educational reforms. Fondong's article fails to address the root causes of this conflict, particularly the issues related to this education issue and governance that sparked the war in the first place. The dissatisfaction with the education system in Cameroon, which has long been criticized for its biases and lack of cultural sensitivity, played a significant role in the outbreak of this conflict. We all know that. Fondong knows that. Yeah, he won't point fingers at La République. The dismissal of these issues and his failure to critique the Cameroonian government's role in perpetuating the conflict highlight his partiality, Fondong's partiality. Julius Fondong's article reviews more than just a critical stance. It exposes a deep-seated animosity towards Ambazonia and a troubling alignment with the oppressive regime in Yaoundé. Julius Fondong's blatant disregard for the truth and his selective presentation of facts betrays him. His derogatory language and dismissive tone towards the Ambazonian people signal not just a professional disagreement, but a profound contempt for our fight for freedom. This is not merely an issue of differing viewpoints or opinion. It is indicative of a broader, more insidious agenda that he holds in mind, an agenda of one Cameroon. By perpetuating misinformation and marginalizing the genuine grievances of the Ambazonian people, Julius Fondong implicitly supports the continued violence and repression that characterize the regime's actions in Yaoundé. Julius' position as a United Nations senior political officer should demand impartiality and an unwavering commitment to human rights. However, Julius Fondong's narrative suggests a troubling compromise, ladies and gentlemen, a troubling compromise of these principles, possibly driven by personal ambitions or a desire for political advancement. Fondong may well be maneuvering for positions of power and influence, such as maybe ministerial or ambassadorial roles after he retires from the United Nations. In the world where impartiality and integrity should guide discourse, Julius Fondong's work exemplifies the worst of political manipulation. His stance does not merely reflect a personal opinion, but rather a dangerous complicity with the forces that oppress and silence the very voices calling for justice and freedom. The global community deserves better from those who hold positions of responsibility, of authority and influence like Julius Fondong. Until such voices are held accountable, The suffering of the Ambazonian people will remain a stark reminder of the consequences of unchecked power and bias in international affairs. All right, that was my talking point, my monologue directed, my rebuttal, in fact, directed at Julius Fondong's write-up, which made rounds in the social media last week. Ladies and gentlemen, I had an opportunity to speak with Julius. Actually, I didn't speak with him. I chatted with him. I promised calling him back. But he came across as a nice guy, friendly guy. And I invited him to come on ABS to answer some of the questions that he has posed in his write-up. But Julius said, because of his position as a United Nations officer, you would have to obtain permission before you can come on television to discuss this subject. But I found it kind of contrary. I find it in the contrary that Julius is able to put out an article as the one you put out without having to consult the United Nations. But he cannot come on TV to discuss that same article. I think there is a level of hypocrisy right there. I would expect that Julius, having put out that article, not as an official of the United Nations, but as Julius Fondong, as an individual, sharing his opinion. I was thinking he will also come on TV in his capacity as Julius Fondong, not an official of the United Nations, to discuss his own post, his own article. But no, he said, well, if he cannot come on TV, it is a position held by United Nations that officials cannot go on TV to discuss anything. But again, even so, he still went ahead and wrote that article, even as a UN official. I would like to hear your thought on that. So remember, this is open line. You can call anytime, make an input, ask a question, and we go from there. Most of you out there have the number. Let's get a technician. Please put up the number, put up the phone number so that others can call in. People can call in and ask questions if they have questions, make contributions if they have contributions. All right, so that is that. I think, okay. We have the phone number there, right there on the screen. You can call in anytime to make your contribution. So, ladies and gentlemen, again, Julius Fondong spewed out inaccurate facts. I give you good examples. Julius says there are only 84,000 Ambazonian refugees in Nigeria. Of course, that is not true. He is quoting figures of the official numbers of refugees registered by the UNHCR in Nigeria. He is not telling you that there are thousands of others out there in Nigeria who are not registered but are in refugee camps. Let me get to this caller. Hello.
Hello, Comrade Chris. This is Maitre Nicole from the Netherlands.
Good to hear your voice, sir. How are you doing today?
No, I'm just so shocked by this monologue about Julius Fondong.
Are you shocked? Are you shocked?
Yes.
Are you shocked with my monologue, or you are shocked with Julius Fondong's article?
With Julius Fondong, rather, please.
All right. So go on.
I'm shocked with Julius Fondong. Actually, what I'm trying to say is that, people like Julius Fondong, as his name states, they're a disgrace to Ambazonia, And I think for 80 years now and counting, people have been killed, locked up, assets destroyed, and they're just trying to make themselves relevant because, the position he occupies at the UN there, I think he was being appointed it must be referred to by the government of the Republic of Cameroon. So he has to speak in defense of the Republic of Cameroon.
But don't forget But hold on. Don't forget this. Don't forget that Julius Fondong, I know a little bit about him. He was, I think, vice principal and lecturer in Nacho in the, I think, in the late 80s or early 90s. Then he became, he wrote the concours, passed the concours, I think went to Eric and became, after that became a DO, Colonial Divisional Officer, I think first in Momo in the Bengui, and then another one to Oku. Somebody wrote to me from Oku.
Thank you very much, Comrade. What I'm trying to say is that whatever he might have become, but let's take it that the position he should be occupying
hold on. But I'm saying that to let you know that don't expect that what he is writing, he can say or write anything that is against La République du Cameroon. They are his paymasters.
Exactly my point. Because before walking into the position he is occupying right now at the United Nations, he must have got recommendation by the state of La République du Cameroon to the United Nations. That is how it works. So now let Ambazonia not expect anything good coming out of this so-called shameless Julius Fondong. So shameful that his placenta was buried in Ambazonia. But anyway, history will judge people like him. You know, I think let this like understand that this level at which Ambazonia reached today, there's no turning back.
No, there is not.
The regime is out of oxygen. There's no more oxygen in Yaoundé. The clock is ticking steadily. At any moment, there can be breaking news. This type of people, they are all under panicking right now. I hear people trying to reclaim that we should force Philemon Yang. Look, if Philemon Yang is of good conscience, I think that this is the last time that nobody should even ask him. Taking that he is from Ambazonia, he should do the needy. By maybe taking that suicide decision at the United Nations and invoking any article, regarding certain Cameroon's case there. I mean, Ambazonia's case. But people like him, they are coward. They will never utter a word. They depend on the paymaster from Yaoundé. And there's no even money coming again in from Yaoundé. Just from Donum, from branches that keep supporting.
No, there's no money. There's no money. I read a report, I think only about 2 days ago, that what is this other guy? This guy's name, Motaze somebody. That
yes,
he was confessing. I read it in a newspaper story that Cameroon is owing 672 billion francs CFA to Cameroonians. 300 billion of which is owed to the civil service.
Of income, my fellow brother, comrade, please. La République du Cameroon is completely down and out.
Yes.
They are living on the lifeline supported by the international community with small channels that they keep chipping in loan. The war in our homeland has crippled La République du Cameroon, and La République du Cameroon is going out and will continue to go out.
And
so let the likes of Peter, Henry, what is his name again? Fondong, Henry, what was his name?
Julius Fondong.
The Fondongs, and even the Philemon Yang, and whoso, let them keep doing what they are doing. Ambazonia have vomited them out. We don't care about whatever they are doing. Ambazonia is already free mentally. It's just that practically it is not yet manifested. But we are already a free people. So thank you very much, my fellow comrade.
Thank you for the call. All right, let's get to the next caller. I see many people trying to call here. Hello. Hello.
Yeah, good day, sir.
Good day, sir. Where are you calling from?
I'm calling from Ground Zero.
Where precisely? Which county?
Meme.
Wonderful. What is on your mind?
Yeah, what is on my mind is about the Julius Fondong man.
Okay.
Yeah, sir, my problem is that all these people that they have decided to be a black leg, they should be treated according to their evil deed that they have done to Ambazonia people when we actually get our independence, because our independence is must and it must be. Nothing can stop our independence. So
we've gone too far to even think that somebody can stop it, not a lone wolf.
Actually,
All right.
So these people must be noticed. These people must be noticed. We have suffered a lot. We have lost a lot. Our people have been slaughtered and killed as if they are animals by the La Republic tons. So this is not something that the government of Ambazonia should play with.
All right. Thank you. He is hearing you. Thank you for the call.
All right, sir.
All right. I see many missed calls here. Let's see who is calling next. Hello.
Hello, Comrade Chris. Good evening.
Good evening, sir. Where are you calling from, please?
I'm calling from Ketunjia County.
Ketunjia County. Okay. What is on your mind, sir?
Yes, so I just want to confirm what the first caller said. Fondong Julius is simply executing La République du Cameroon's agenda. Yes, he is there to execute their agenda. That is why he sees that if he comes out on air to air what he wants to air, his post, his job will be at risk. That is why he comes. He says he uses the pretext that he has to ask for permission from the United Nations. Give him that possibility to ask for that permission. He will never tell you that that permission has been granted.
Right.